Hey guys, welcome to this new podcast we've created. It's just going to be me, Amaya, Kelsey, and Whisper. And sorry if this all seems rushed. We did it in a few days. We had some technical issues, and then we had to re-record some stuff. So yeah, keep that in mind while you're watching the video. Yeah, let's get right into the video.
During the 1800s, a secret escape network called the Underground Railroad helped lead enslaved people to freedom. It was a series of escape routes and hiding places to lead people out of slavery and was not an actual railroad. People used railroad terms as a code language, and the whole network extended through 14 northern states into Canada. They moved about 100,000 people between 1810 and 1850. An organized group called the Quakers was considered the first group to help escaped enslaved people. Harriet Tubman was one of the most famous conductors, and she also escaped slavery herself and freed her sister and two children.
Freedmen in the North knew what was happening down south and sought to get the word out to the public. So what they decided to do was use the education they obtained to make newspapers, pamphlets, and books. Some examples of this are Frederick Douglass and his books Narrative of Life of Frederick Douglass, or My Bondage and My Freedom. Or in the case of William Lloyd Garrison, writing the paper The Liberator to help stop slavery by informing the people of the things that were happening down south. David Walker was another great name in the media of the time. He authored a pamphlet titled Appeal, which became one of the most successful attempts of informing the public. One of the most famous faces of abolition was Harriet Tubman, who wrote Daughters of Faith.
Abolitionists argued that slavery contradicted the U.S. Constitution. The abolitionist movement has caused increasing friction between slave-owning South states and the North. The option was left up to individual states on whether or not slavery was legal. In the South, slavery was legal. During this movement, Andrew Jackson had banned U.S. Postal Services from delivering any publications that supported the abolition movement.
On January 1st, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment was signed and freed all slaves in the United States. Even though black men and women were free, they still faced many problems like discrimination, little to no education, and little to no money. Under the current president of the time, Abraham Lincoln, the Freedmen's Bureau was signed, which was a temporary agency which provided food, clothing, and medical care to blacks in the South, especially freed slaves.
Abolitionists saw slavery as an abomination in that it had afflicted the United States. Their goal had been to eradicate any slave ownership, and to reach this goal they would do anything, even go to war. Abolitionists had produced more and more brutal attacks on slavery in the years leading up to the Civil War than any other time. They had called more radical attacks against slavery. Abolitionists had grown more strict in their demands, so as time went by, slave owners made it more difficult to end slavery. So abolitionists had formed political parties, Liberty Party, that limited slavery expansion in the West. The division between the states and the hostility fueled by the movement, along with a few other factors, led to the Civil War.